Welcome to Shravanam TV. Today we're talking about Bhakti Yoga and the 64 Angas of Bhakti that's mentioned in this book called The Nectar of Devotion, also known as the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. This is a book originally written by Srila Rupa Goswami and translated by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, the founder Acharya of ISKCON. So we're going to turn to the chapter here on how to execute devotional service. And in this chapter we find 64 limbs of Bhakti Yoga mentioned by Rupa Goswami as the most prominent limbs. These are the principles of Bhakti Yoga. And he says that the other things that are given by the Guru are details. So he's only going to place before us the principles, which number 64. So we'll just read through the 64, and then if you have any questions about any of them, you can put up a question in the comment section, and we'll handle that. He mentions the basic principles as number 1, accepting the shelter of the lotus feet of a bona fide spiritual master. Number 2, becoming initiated by the spiritual master and learning how to discharge devotional service from him. Number 3, obeying the orders of the spiritual master with faith and devotion. Number 4, following in the footsteps of great acharyas, teachers, under the direction of the spiritual master. Number 5, inquiring from the spiritual master how to advance in Krishna consciousness. That's Bhakti Yoga. 6, being prepared to give up anything material for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. This means that when we are engaged in the devotional service of Krishna, we must be prepared to give up something which we may not like to give up. And we also have to accept something which we may not like to accept. Number 7 is residing in a sacred place of pilgrimage, like Dwarka or Vrindavan. Number 8 is accepting only what is necessary or dealing with the material world only as far as necessary. Number 9 is observing the fasting day on Ekadashi. That happens twice a month, every 15 days or so. Number 10, worshipping sacred trees like the banyan tree. These 10 items are preliminary necessities for beginning the discharge of devotional service and regulative principles. In the beginning, if a neophyte devotee observes the above-mentioned 10 principles, surely he will quickly make good advancement in Krishna consciousness. The next 10 instructions are listed as follows. 1 should rigidly give up the company of non-devotees. Number 2, one should not instruct a person who is not desirous of accepting devotional service. Number 3, one should not be very enthusiastic about constructing costly temples or monasteries. Number 4, one should not try to read too many books, nor should one develop the idea of earning his livelihood by lecturing on or professionally reciting Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita. One should not be, number 5 is one should not be neglectful in ordinary dealings. Number 6, one should not be under the spell of lamentation and loss or jubilation and gain. Number 7, one should not disrespect the demigods. Number 8, one should not give unnecessary trouble to any living entity. Number 9, one should carefully avoid the various offenses in chanting the holy name of the Lord, or in worshipping the deity in the temple. Number 10, one should be very intolerant towards the blasphemy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, or his devotees. Without following the above-mentioned 10 principles, one cannot properly elevate himself to the platform of sadhana bhakti, or devotional service and practice. Altogether, Srila Rupa Goswami mentions 20 items, and all of them are very important. Out of the 20 items, the first 3, namely accepting the shelter of a bona fide spiritual master, taking initiation from him, and serving him with respect and reverence, are the most important. So then there's additional rules, regulations. The next important items are: 1, one should decorate the body with tilak, which is the sign of the Vaishnava. The idea is that as soon as a person sees these marks on the body of the Vaishnava, he will immediately remember Krishna. Lord Chaitanya said that a Vaishnava is one who, when seen, reminds one of Krishna. Therefore, it's essential that a Vaishnava mark his body with tilak to remind others of Krishna. Number 2, in marking such tilak, sometimes we may write Hare Krishna on the body. Number 3, one should accept flowers and garlands that have been offered to the deity and the spiritual master and put them on one's body. Number 4, one should learn to dance before the deity. Number 5, one should learn how to bow down immediately upon seeing the deity or the spiritual master. Number 6, as soon as one visits the temple of Lord Krishna, one must stand up. Number 7, when the deity is being borne for a stroll on the street, a devotee should immediately follow the procession. And number 8, a devotee must visit a Vishnu temple at least once or twice every day, morning and evening. In Vrindavan, the system is followed strictly. Number 9, one must circumambulate the temple building at least 3 times. Number 10, one must worship the deity in the temple according to the regular principles. Number 11, one must render personal service to the deities. Number 12, one must sing. Number 13, one must perform Sankirtan. Number 14, one must chant. 15, one must offer prayers. 16, one must recite notable prayers. 17, one must taste Mahaprasadam. Number 18, one must drink Charnamrita. Number 19, one must smell the incense and flowers offered to the deity. Number 20, one must touch the lotus feet of the deity. Number 21, one must see the deity with great devotion. Number 22, one must offer arti at different times. 23, one must hear about the Lord and his pastimes from Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and similar books. 24, one must pray to the deity for his mercy. 25, one should remember the deity. 26, one should meditate upon the deity. 27, one should render some voluntary service. 28, one should think of the Lord as one's friend. 29, one should offer everything to the Lord. 30, one should offer a favorite article such as food or a garment. 31, one should take all kinds of risks and perform all endeavors for Krishna's benefit. 32, in every condition one should be a surrendered soul. 33, one should pour water on the tulsi tree. 34, one should regularly hear Srimad Bhagavatam and similar literature. 35, one should live in a sacred place like Mathura, Vrindavan, or Dwarka. 36, one should offer service to Vaishnavas. 37, one should arrange one's devotional service according to one's means. 38, in the month of Kartik, one should make arrangement for special services. 39, during Janmashtami, the time of Krishna's appearance, one should observe a special service. 40, one should do whatever is done with great care and devotion for the deity. 41, one should relish the pleasure of Bhagavatam reading amongst devotees and not amongst non-devotees. 42, one should associate with devotees who are considered more advanced. 43, one should chant the holy name of the Lord. 44, one should live in the jurisdiction of Mathura. Now the total regular principles come to an aggregate of 64 items. As we have mentioned, the first are the primary 10 regular principles. Then come the secondary 10 regular principles. And added to those are 44 other activities. So altogether there are 64 items for discharging the regular practice of devotional service. Out of these 64 items, 5 items, namely worshipping the deity, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, associating with devotees, Sankirtan, and living in Mathura district are very important. The 64 items of devotional service should include all of our activities of body, mind, and speech. As stated in the beginning, the regular principles of devotional service enjoins that all our senses must be employed in the service of the Lord. Exactly how that they can be thus employed is described in the above 64 items. So these are the ways of discharging Bhakti Yoga in devotional service in the Vaidhi Bhakti. This is called Vaidhi Bhakti. And all devotees or aspiring devotees should learn these and try to practice them regularly throughout their life. And that will give one spiritual strength for advancing on the devotional path to developing love of God. So thanks for joining us today on Shravanam TV, and hope to see you soon.